Hello, everybody. Welcome to stream number 10, technically 11, but we're not counting that one day where my internet cut out several times. So yeah, welcome. I hope everyone is having an amazing, what is it, Wednesday today? Yes, Wednesday, January 10th. I hope everyone is having an amazing Wednesday, January 10th. I am having a pretty decent one, still working on that little game that I was talking about, getting ready to move back to university, but yeah, that's about everything that's going on. So yesterday we finished our first texture. Let's turn that music back up. We finished our first texture on our second page of textures for the Drawbox Lesson 2, and today we're going to tackle another texture, and yes, for once I picked out my texture before stream, so I didn't have to have an awkward 10 minutes where I had to pick one. So, without further ado, let's set our 10-minute timer and get warmed up. I do have some announcements. This weekend, like I said last stream, we will be updating some of the media on here, just making sure the music player is working more. I'll be getting in contact with Creator Mix to try to fix some of my music situation. Also, we'll be trying to add some new songs as well that were recommendations that I love, but I'm not sure if YouTube will love me streaming that, so I do have to double check all of those licenses and rules there. But we're also adding an end screen. It's very awkward not having an end screen and just, disappearing with the start screen. But yeah, and then I think that's everything. Oh yeah, so we are going to try to stream Sunday and Saturday. We're going to stream, even though I technically did draw on Monday, since the stream wasn't up, I don't want to really, I don't want excuses. I want to keep up that 6-day-a-week streak. So even though it's technically 7 days, I have the time, I like drawing, I like being here with you guys, so we're going to try to stream on Saturday, which is the day I'm moving out. Other than that, I do have to build a desk. I have to build a desk, set up my whole PC. My laptop at my apartment, because I have 2 laptops, my laptop at my apartment does blue screen a lot, so it will be quite an interesting game we'll have to play. Hopefully we'll get it done. We'll probably get it done. I did say yesterday that I'll try to change up my warm-up habits. We'll try to do something fun, so we're going to do that today as well. Also, big news. This is the biggest news. I keep avoiding it on accident. We're also going to move... Actually, I'll just scoot closer. The big news of today is the stream is now moving. So usually, these start at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to move it to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I've realized that most people in the US specifically have the time to join this stream later in the day, so we're going to do that. And it's also easier for me because this is the last thing I do, or this probably will be the last thing I do every day while I'm in university, because I do have to wake up early, so I will be falling asleep like right after this. That being said, I want this, if this is going to be the last thing I do every day, I might as well push it back a tiny bit. Also do have to somehow balance homework, studies, work, personal projects, and school in there, but we'll manage. Lines aren't as good as today as usual, but I mean, that's not the end of the world, right? We are speeding up though. I am liking that. My main critique of yesterday is I need to ghost more. Oh, I just hit my head on my lamp. I'm sorry about that. I do need to ghost more, so I'm going to be trying to do that more today. We do have a somewhat easier texture. I'm going to try to ramp it up to 2 textures today. Wow, 2 textures a day. Ironically, that's coming after doing our artichoke texture, which took 4 days. Technically 1 day was a bit cut short because of the internet outage. There is apparently a storm sweeping across the US, so I had to struggle with saying this yesterday in a non-weird way, but like, best safety, I wish safety upon everyone who's going through that. This is part of the I feel like, this part, the January to February mark of winter is always the harshest for everybody. So please remain safe, please stay safe and don't do anything stupid. Like driving the southern states, I've heard they tried driving in the snow and they aren't prepared for it, so no shade, but there's that one video on the internet of like some dude at 7-Eleven or something, like he just went through a storm just to like buy something or get some food, or I can't remember it entirely, but don't do that. Let's try to be safe, right? And plus, what is better than hanging out with Kavel while we do something we love with some nice snowy, cozy weather outside? I think that's pretty great. Also, I'm gonna try to make my, what's it called? Because obviously we're only doing 6 days a week, right? I'm gonna try to make the day off Mondays, because it's a Monday, right? But also, I don't have classes some other day of the week. I can't remember. I haven't looked at my schedule that much yet. But that being said, it would be easier to stream on those days. And I can treat Monday as a homework intensive day. Oh, geez. Basically, the schedule will get a bit chaotic for the next couple weeks until I feel like every semester in college I have to, find a new groove. I do bike everywhere. I don't drive in college because gas is expensive and college drivers they leave a lot to be desired when it comes to driving. So that being said, I don't know why bringing up me being on a bike, but commuting and stuff is, I don't have the luxury of, or I don't choose the luxury of driving everywhere, being very time oriented in that approach. So when it comes to things in university, I don't know how to describe it. I'm kind of losing words here. I take my time. I'm quite slow. Then again, I'm kind of like that with art and such. I'm not a very, I don't know how to put it. I'm not pressed for time. I don't really care, It's not that urgent, right? We'll get it done eventually, so long as we try our best. But yeah, as school returns, remember that this is the most important time to still stick to your hobbies. Even though your schedule is changing, it's getting more chaotic and stuff, I know and I believe that you're capable of making a good scheduling adjustment where you could still, dedicate your time to these things. And I bet one of the reasons why New Year's resolutions or things like that fail is because, let me double check everything with the stream real quick. It's because, you're done with winter break and then you come back and, you're back to life. So those habits break very easily. The old habits may kick in, or, it's just hard to integrate that back into your quote unquote normal life. Oh, geez, I'm not raising my arm up enough. So that being said, let's stick with it. Let's stay consistent. Do some awesome stuff. Because I know you got it. And plus, all you have to do is just click on the stream, and you're here. And you're ready to do something. Yeah, these lines are leaving a lot to be desired today. I've had better. I always foreshorten this side a lot because it's easier, so we're gonna... still gonna foreshorten it, but we're gonna move it closer to us. Well, I'm not paying attention to the projections that I'm doing. So we're gonna do something like this. There we go. I don't think that's totally in line, but let's make sure this actually converges as well. I keep hitting my head, my massive noggin on my light today. I apologize if the camera's a bit shaky. I do have a couple concerns with my setup at my apartment. Main one being my laptop blue screening quite a bit. It is weirdly particular when it blue screens. It's quite annoying. So I'll make sure to try to fix that to the best of my ability, but apparently just the model of that laptop tends to blue screen a lot, which I wish I did more research before we bought that laptop, but you win some, you lose some. And it is going to be another concern is my internet in my apartment isn't the best. And just balancing my school life workload. It'll be very interesting. Ooh, goodness. That's not my best line. Kind of corrected it there, though. I feel like that's probably landed me something. my experience developing this game that I've been talking about, it's been very, very exciting recently. First off, it helped me recognize how hard solo game development is. Goodness gracious, it is, goodness gracious. It's a tough process, especially when, you know, you don't have beta testers or people backing you. You only have like a limited group of people that you can like send screenshots and be like, this is what it looks like so far, or etc. Very appreciative, very, very appreciative of those people who look at my work and can critique me or you can give their yes and no's. But yeah, that being said, whenever I always give a lot of actually no, I wouldn't even say that. I'm not liking this. What is off here? That's what's off. We'll try to point that down a bit more. I never held like those FPS horror games made in Unity in like, you know, a weak, very high value. But even like, unless you use like a template, yeah, oof, wow. This box is, ooh, it's really, really annoying me. Wow, that's just awful. You know, unless you used a template, those games are still somewhat not easy to develop. I mean, there's probably hundreds of tutorials where you can just copy and paste it, but to solo develop a game from scratch, with little Unity experience like myself, it is proven to be a, even with a programming background, it's a bit interesting, because the way you use I'll avoid, you know, technical jargon, computer lingo, but the way you use objects in there is somewhat different to my understanding of software engineering, so it's a new experience and I'm enjoying it a lot. It seems like the hardest part in this project right now will be making the game multiplayer, because I am designing it for single player right now, because I have no idea how multiplayer, oh wow, I didn't ghost enough. I have no idea how a multiplayer works, just at all. And I've heard that just design it in single player first. Focus on object-oriented programming, and the rest it'll be easy to adapt. Decent circles today, not too upset with them, compared to my awful, I don't know what was going on up here, that is just, I think I was too distracted. Tried that smaller one and didn't do too well. Triple check everything on the stream is going well. I didn't do my due diligence today of making sure it's all up and running and my voice is all audible and stuff, but it looks good. Awesome. Let's get back to it. I did mention this last stream, but Drawbox did recently unveil a chat room where you could draw with people. Very ironic, I started streaming and I preach about how I don't want a large, you know, an uncontrollably large audience, and then Drawbox does something like that, but we're here. And soon, once my schedule becomes, you know, becomes less chaotic, I'll be posting my streams in there as well, so we can get some awesome Drawbox people to follow along, or not even follow along, but just do their assignments with me. Consistency is key with a thing like Drawbox, especially when it's, you know, at your own pace. Awesome stuff. So we finished our thing for the day, our warm-up. Obviously, this is making me very angry. If I could redo this, I would adjust this line more this way, ish, you know, somewhere in between there, not that much. But the main culprit is this line right here. This barely converges. So yeah, I would go more like that, I guess. I don't know, something like that. And of course, right here, this was main culprit. So something like that, because you know, right here, these were probably the most accurate. Yet I aimed for up here for some odd reason. Hit my head on my thing again. I apologize. But yeah, so without further ado, time to reveal today's texture. Also, oh my goodness, I forgot to change the name of the stream. I forgot we're like not being boring, and we're gonna change the name of the stream. Let me do that real quick. Yeah, today is not Coughing Baby versus Artichoke. It is the... I forgot the name of this texture. Oh. I think it's... Okay, wait. So there's two names for this. There's the more common horned melon, but I'm calling it the Kiwano melon. Yes. Awesome. Okay. Kiwano melon, day 10. And just to switch over, this is what it looks like. Let's zoom out a tiny bit for you guys. Very strange looking fruit. Devil fruit kind of looking thing. Should be somewhat easier than our artichoke from yesterday. Looking back at this, I wish I was a bit more bold with the 3D or the shadows. Yeah, I mean, that's just generally how I feel. But overall, not bad at all. I think it's a good texture. I didn't overdo it with my ink as per usual. It looks a lot like scales, but that's kind of a given, given the detail I put on it. But yeah, so where are we going to do our Kiwano melon? I feel like over here would be perfect. And yeah, we just have to make sure we always have room for, what's it called? More, I mean, we want 25 textures. Even though we did like, what, 33 textures on the other one, we still want to, the average for most Drawbox drawings is 25. Thought this was open for a second. So one texture, two texture, and then we do the Kiwano right here, which would work. So that's 3 textures on this one. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Maybe we'll have to do some more. Like some of these, I just didn't count the smaller slices. So like, for example, we could do 1, 2. Oh, that still wouldn't. Uh-oh. Let's see. How would we like to manage this? What we could do. This is a bit bold. Don't think we could do it with any of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would almost double these, so yeah. Even though that it's a bit strange to do it right there. But we'll figure it out. It's fine. We will not fail this. Maybe I miscounted one. Let's do this one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, 21. Not including this, which is 1, 2, 3. So we're near 25, so we'll be fine. And plus, we're going to put a lot of effort, a lot of time into these textures, so it'll be fine. Okay, let's set our 1-hour timer. Not really messing around today. We're going to finish, hopefully, on schedule. I feel like a pilot when I say that stuff. But yeah, so reset our timer, and let's get to it. So, Kiwano melon. I feel like I'm going to forget the name, so I'm going to write it down. Kiwano melon. Awesome stuff. So, for the Kiwano melon, we have a very, very easy, just like an egg form almost. I'm just going to draw that. I mean, not much to it. It's a bit oblate. It has a bit of a chunk down here to it, but I'm not really stressing about drawing that. I'm going to say this is our horizon line. This is our perspective. And we're going to have this looks like a football. Let's add some more contours. Oof. Oh, I did that the wrong way. Well, who cares? Anyways, this is just a rough estimate of what's going on, right? Probably should have done a smaller one. But yeah, so... Oh, also notice, so we have these, I'm going to just estimate them with triangles, right? We have these little triangles. And at a certain point, which you'd expect right here, but I guess our horizon line in this photo is technically right here. We're all assuming that these triangles, I'm going to call them, these little pokey things, that they're normal to the surface. And for those who don't know what normal means. Normal just means that if there's like a little center of this, right? If a line, or not even that, let's say you take any point on the surface and you draw a line that's tangent to it, so it only intersects with one point, and you have a perpendicular line, that line is normal, right? So that's normal everywhere on the surface. We're going to assume that all of these triangles are normal to the surface. And then we'll stop that estimation by giving it this kind of volcanic shape, this mountainous shape to it. And we do have to recognize that these are 3D forms, so we'll keep that in mind as we go forward. And also, we do have a good advantage here, because the texture, we do have these like little circular nubs on the top. So this kind of helps us say, like if we were going to just do one of these things, this wouldn't tell us too much if it was looking towards us or away from us, other than some other, things like this could be towards us, like away from us. Or it could be towards us. This is actually, see if I can prove myself wrong right here. Kind of towards us. Yeah, that would kind of affect how these look. But, you have this, right? You probably do something like this. You wouldn't really be able to tell which way it's pointing, but now that we have these nubs, it sounds horrible, but now that we have these mandatory little sections on it, right? We can infer the direction at all times of where it's pointing, so that's very helpful. So yeah, other than that, I mean, I think the spacing will be important and the sizing, because remember, these triangles, as we learned in the artichoke, the triangles will be very small over here, very large up here, and kind of a mix in between here. So I'm just doing the circle to represent the bottom form of it. So if we did like an ellipse right here, we would probably see this inside of it. Oh, that's a good way of representing this, right? So, we have an ellipse right here, slightly bigger, and only off kilter a tiny bit. This one, a lot more, minor axis is decreasing a lot right there. And this one's going to be almost outside of it. And then, of course, when we get over here, the minor axis of both these decreases. So yeah, the minor axis of this circle and this circle they both shrink somewhat proportionally. So once we get to the side over here, the side of our form, we're like this. Right? So that's just something to keep in mind. Yeah, so we have these. They're spread a bit randomly. It feels like there's more on the sides than there is the center here, but that's just because of the perspective. We could just see more of the pokes around there. So that's something to keep in mind, is that we're going to have forms kind of jutting out. And they're super skinny. They're not going to be wide like this. So yeah, they're not going to be skinny like this. Not wide. We want skinny, so they're going to end up looking like this almost. Or to dramatize it a bit, just looking at these. They're not going to have a base. So yeah, kind of doing this. No base for these. Meanwhile, these, if they're on our horizon line, right? If they're on level with ours, then all we're really going to see are just the tops of it, which have, whatever kind of texture to it. We'll look at that more in a bit. Yeah, they kind of have like a center circle to it a bit. Some of these have spikes on it. Don't know why. And there's this cool surface pattern. We'll worry about that later. We can maybe estimate it with dots, but that's totally not... I'm more concerned with the 3D form than actually anything else there. So, let's just try estimating what some of these will look like. So yeah, of course we have one right here. We can kind of go like this to... Oh, that's not totally concentric, right? We basically want to have this imaginary circle and then the head. So the head right here, just to draw it over here, this section, it's going to have something like this. So let's do that over here. We're gonna have a broken line. And also let's note that the it'll get darker over here. I did have this picture over here to kind of help with the shadows. So yeah, these sides are still more illuminated, and the shadow is thickest mainly because of the top right here. Because like even though the form goes like this, oh you can barely see that. Even though the form goes like this over here, this part's the darkest because this part is the tallest. It's kind of forming, you know, like going along the gradient of that part. So we'll keep that in mind. So yeah, right here, continuing this, we have a little bug on my desk. Get away, little bug. No, go away. I don't want to hurt him, so we'll just leave him be, I guess. So yeah, this one, it's not totally up yet, so we'll do... My pen was doing this yesterday, not the... I feel like that should have been a bit lower. I feel like it needs to be skinnier, it needs to be longer, so that this should have been our inner circle, and then something like that. And in fact, the degree up here was much larger than the degree up here, down here, like this, proportionally. So, because this is just forming this. These degrees aren't matching up. I should say the degree, yeah, the degree, so it's the degree, okay, wow. What I mean by degree in this situation is it is the ratio of the minor axis to the major axis. Because this is almost 1 to 1, while this one is almost 1 to 2 for minor to major axis. So yeah, that doesn't look right. If we have instead one that we can verify, this one is practically 1 to 1, it's a good circle. And then we do a good circle over here too. That looks much better. In fact, since this one is moving away, oh yeah, because of perspective, this kind of looks like it's going away from us, but it's coming towards us. Since it's coming towards us, kind of thicken that up there to inform. Since it's coming towards us, this would actually even be a bit smaller. Because remember, as things get close to us, they decrease in their degree. So that's something to keep in mind. So yeah, we'll leave a note. Oh, you guys can even see that. I am so sorry about my terrible camera work today. I've messed around with my camera. It's a bit higher than usual, so that's my excuse at least. I'm much more relaxed in my chair today. So we'll leave a note to self. Top ellipse. Slightly smaller degree than bottom ellipse. Just barely, because it's getting closer to us. I'll put getting... Oh, getting closer. Okay, cool. Gonna take a quick water break and then we'll continue tackling this. Awesome stuff. Let's do it. So, and we also have to keep in mind, this surface is a lot smaller than this surface, so we'll have to be prepared for that. Doing some crazy 3D textures in this page, but I think that's cool. Shows how much we've learned. Because, like, the previous one, like, the, I guess, yeah. Like, previous one, our improvement looked a lot like this, you know? And this one, I'm not saying we're going to plateau, but now that our baseline is higher, their textures are going to look much better. Like, the, you know, page one has some pretty awful looking textures and some pretty good ones. This one is going to see some pretty good textures and some very good textures. So I have a feeling this page will look great. So long as we keep fighting, because this is hard analysis. But I divert. Let's get back to the texture. So yeah, we have this really good realization that top degree is smaller than bottom degree. That over here it's going to get darker, you know, shadows are gonna get a bit darker. Shadows will be a bit of a tricky thing to master in this, but I think we'll be fine. We're gonna pretend that there's light sources from... Oh man, I love this song. I like the little wee-woos. Yeah, we're gonna pretend like this, so that there's light on the sides of it, just causing it to be darker. I don't know a better way of putting it. Actually, no. I think we should imagine that the viewer has a light source right behind it, and because of that, what am I looking at? Making sure all the stream stuff is good. Awesome. Okay, I was about to say our music player hasn't broken yet, but I feel like right as I mentioned that, it's gonna break. So, instead of this, I think we'll do one right here. Kind of look up a reference for how this would look. So if we have one like this, so we're gonna have a, you know, this. Still a bit stubby. Don't know how to prevent that, but whatever. And also not... This, right? Just made my own, like, tangent plane, and then made an ellipse with the major axis also parallel to that tangent plane at that point. So collinear. And then, you know, the minor axis for both of them is perpendicular. But, sorry. I feel like the shadow should go this way instead. And if it was a really big shadow, it would look something like this. Yeah, so no shadows on the right, like the artichoke. We're gonna have shadows over here. Good stuff. So, let's make a smaller form and experiment a bit more with that one. We're gonna do pretty small. Good stuff. Should have ghosted a bit more, but it's okay. And let's see, our actual one has contours like this. Oh. We have a bit of this situation going on. That's hard to visualize, but we got it. So yeah, the horizon line. Oh, I missed that. I need to ghost more. I need to ghost more. I don't know. Okay. I'm just going to write down ghost more. And draw a little spooky ghost. Yeah, ghost more. Okay. That's going in the thumbnail. So yeah, these, not completely. I didn't even ghost right there. I'm just going at it, right? There we go. So yeah, our horizon line's right here, so we're gonna have, you know, our forms, if there are any. Kind of like this, right? So yeah, we're approximating these more with cylinders than anything else, like cylinders with like chamfered edges. So, let's do one right here. Get our imaginary contour from the top, right? This. So, I've noticed that the thing that indicates how tall it is probably the degree of the top one. Now it still looks really stubby. So if I did this, compared to this, Okay. Proportionally too, it goes like a quick taper. It's like a... I'm gonna start dotting the inside because this looks a bit confusing. Looks like some Dr. Seuss type stuff. Weird mental association there with cat and hat. Okay. Try doing one like right here. They're very skinny. So yeah, these outside ones, a bit easier to do. Not too worried about those. Looks like a little snail. One right here. There we go. Proportionally smaller than those, so we'll have to be careful of that. Edges are smaller than the center. We'll just have to remember that. So these are pretty large, so I'm going to make this one proportionally. In fact, that degree should have been a bit larger, because it's facing more towards us. Yeah, so that one should have been mostly like this. It's still pointing up a lot. So, I guess, yeah, the ones that are, they're just like this, pointing straight at us. And depending on the light, you could kind of have a shadow to it. Yeah. So the tricky part isn't really making these. They're not necessarily hard to draw, right? Because all you have is this. This is pretty easy. And we're going to have like one that's a bit more down, right? Just do this. Whatever. Degree's gonna get bigger. The hard part is this. Maintaining the scale. Trying to just experiment, like what makes it look like, even though it's closer to us, right? What makes it look tall? Let's look at these. Let's study these a bit more. So this one is tall, but how do we know that? Other than the shadow. Looking at these contour lines specifically. Is it that they're almost proportional, I should say? Nah. That makes it look like it's closer. I'm just drawing circles inside of circles, but I'm really trying to, you know, get like an elevation for this. Bit tough, but we're gonna keep fighting, right? I'm starting to see it a bit more now. What if we... That's a bit informative. Let's do this one other way. I'm gonna go over here for this. So we can kind of estimate these by doing those perpendicular lines to the surface, those normal lines. So like we'll have a normal line kind of coming mostly at us. What we can do, draw a tiny version of this. Didn't ghost, but that's okay. Actually, that's not okay. We need to ghost more. Let's say there's our horizon line-ish. So we'll say that right there we have an ellipse that's so perfect in line with us that we can't see like the circular nature of it, but we know it's there. It's there somewhere. Specifically right here. Okay. And from there we're going to shoot out beams. We'll have one beam coming straight towards us, boom, right? So boom, right at the camera, boom, like that. And because of that, this beam will be a circle. And so that circle will be infinitely big at us, because it's right in front of us, or it'll be very, very big, right? If it gets infinitely close, does it get infinitely larger? Yes. Because it's just going to consume more and more. Because if I did this, it's this small, but the moment I'm going to bring it up to you, it becomes so infinitely large that, you know, you can't see it anymore. Or, you know, you can't see the outside of it. You can see the interior, which is fine. That being said, we have this interior one. This one's really close to our eyes, or it's relatively close to our eyes. We're going to shoot a beam out right through this patch right here. So it's going to look like this, kind of. It's above the horizon line. We're going to have these lines to that. It's going to shoot a beam right out of there. Like that. So we are going to contour curve. This would be the normal axis. And based on our rule, because guess what, our warm-up, that's not our warm-up, this is our warm-up. These lines are just how you make cylinders, right? Because you have your very near, larger surface, and then you have your smaller, far away surface. And so, since this one is coming towards us a bit, that's the closer one, it's going to have a smaller degree, but larger profile. So, smaller degree, thinner, but it is also smaller, so that's a bit weird. Let's do a bit of an experiment. More paper, yay! This one's going to be quite large. Oh. I have an error. What's going on here? Please use it. What is this? Ah, my internet is dropping. Oof. Okay. Well, having some internet issues still. Hopefully that will fix itself going forwards. But yeah, geez, that is not good. Hope that fixes itself, because there's literally nothing I can do about that. So, we're going to do a larger organic form. Wow, my internet is really dropping. And we're just kind of go to town, just really experimenting with these, putting our cylinders on top of it, essentially. We're just having cylinders bounce out of this. Kind of like we did the other day with our ellipses on there. We're just extending this to cylinders. So we're going to have one right here. Actually, let's bisect it. Oops. So we're going to have a part that pokes right at us. It's poking our eye out, basically. There, so it's poking right at us. We're going to bring one over here. And degree is going to decrease a little bit. Let's give it a... Wow, my internet is really suffering. I apologize, y'all. So yeah, this is kind of the profile of it. We're going to have one right here. Slightly smaller degree. Remember, this one is going to have a larger degree than this one. I'm trying to see like what happens when we bring this smaller degree outside. Because we want that height, right? Have a bit of this. Then finally, over here when it's practically flat. Still want to maintain our kind of height and width. So yeah, this is kind of the general thing that's happening around it. So we just need to think of it, we need to plan out our ellipse. In fact, this would stop right here, wouldn't it? Looks like my internet is back. Apologies, you guys. So yeah, this is going to go until that point. We'll circle that just to note what's going on there. Let's do the same over here. I'm going to have a slightly tapered ellipse. Oh, my pin's rolling away. Goodness. Slightly tapered ellipse. We're gonna move it a bit outside, like we did over here. So with that height and decrease the degree. I feel like these are going way too far inside. Why? So we do have a tiny ellipse in here. Also, yeah, these are not like... We want a, kind of like this. All of them to have a tangent minor axis equivalent to that. So this one technically needs to move up. Okay. And then of course we'll have our final one over here. Minor axis. We'll share in the minor axis of this ellipse that we did, this contour ellipse. Ooh, should have ghosted. There we go. So this, bring it over here. Something like that. So, we can do it again on the other side of this. Funsies. It's a very awkward position for me to draw on, but we'll do it. So we have this. Woo! Okay. Then, if our horizon line is right here-ish. Yeah. That's the center of that. Not totally feeling that one. Okay, let's do this again. Have an ellipse. That's our contour ellipse. Since it's perfect with the horizon line, doesn't look like it's doing anything. We're gonna have our point sticking out at us, poking our eye out. This is kind of where it tapers and contacts with the surface. We're gonna do another one, slightly smaller degree. And I can tell what height is now, or what makes height look. It is both the minor, oh oops, that was a bit close. So yeah, the minor axis of this and the height, the distance it is away from this. So in reality, I kind of want to do this already. Because even though it's only slightly away from the center, since it's super tall, it's already that far out. With a somewhat, yeah, that one is a bit too small. You know, the ratio is a bit too cut. Can do it again. And technically these should be kind of decreasing as it goes around, right? This is getting further away from us, but meh. So yeah, that one could have like a okay. So this one's gonna experience, you know, degree like that. This one over here is gonna experience one like this, probably even further out than that. Okay. What I'm learning so far is don't be scared to don't be scared of this distance. I don't know why I didn't just do this down here. That's whatever. I guess I like wasting space. Okay. I'm getting close to time here and I do want to finish this today, so let's speed this up. We are going a bit slow. And this is just kind of one of those things where, you know, you will get better with time, but you have to put in that time. So, put this one right here. Even more than that, I should have been outside of the ellipse. I'm starting to see something pretty consistent. I'm starting to see consistency here. Very good. In fact, that was pretty decent. I like that, so let's do it again. I like these bands. Oof, whatever. So, we have our one that's gonna poke our eye out. We're gonna do that one about right here-ish. We're gonna do... Oof. Yeah. Cool. And then we're gonna put our slightly less degreed ellipses on the outside of it. Kind of like yesterday, I feel like my left side was better than my right side. There we go. That's it. That is the concept. I think the only thing we could do now is I'm gonna do this one more time. Do it right here. Have our one poking right out at us. Make them super long now. Super, super long. Actually, I'm going to aim for them to be too long. I want to overdo it, just to show that I have control over this. So, let's do it. Don't know what I'm going to do to I guess I just mentally be able to do these in my... I mean, obviously mentally in my head, but, you know. Because I can't do these little dotted lines on the actual page. Maybe we could find some kind of cheap workaround, but also it's good to be able to do this in your head. And I'm slowly getting... I mean, I'm putting on the page without even needing to ghost it or think about it too much. So yeah, so, this one, we're going to make it super long, ridiculous long. This one. This one. Connect these. Wow, they're so far away that the major axis was a bit, but whatever. Yeah, like this. A bit more round. Good. Does this help? Not really. I think visualizing it this way helps more. There you go. I mean, yeah. So yeah, they are kind of losing this, right? Like these should have been a bit lower. Other than that, though, I have the idea. So I say we do an... Oh, goodness, my internet again. I don't know how this is going to reflect in the stream, but I do sincerely apologize if this is ruining the experience for anyone. That is a shame. I apologize. Oh, wow. Woo-wee. Well, we're going to continue streaming, because I'm not wasting any time today. So, let's do one more. Let's make this one similar to this one over here. There we go. Bisected a bit. Oh, there, my internet's back. Apologies, everyone, if you did not catch that. I don't know what's going on with my internet today, and I'm not a fan of what it's doing, but I'm gonna be honest. Hate to be negative, but yeah. So, we're gonna do that ellipse and the lower one, so this one's going in and has a pretty high degree. Woo! Weird. Okay, whatever. And the one down here. That one also has a pretty wide degree. Yep. Probably it's taking me this much time to do these because I'm doing several forms per night. Alrighty, let's get back to it. Good stuff. So we know what we need to do. We're not going to construct it. We're going to use our heads. I know that's difficult, especially for me, but we'll figure it out, right? Okay, so yeah, looking at this and looking at a reference. Not that many. It's a bit scattered. I'm going to make them pretty big, though. Makes it look cool. So let's, this one is, let's do one right here. I like starting with the, let's start with the interior one, right? So if this is right here, just kind of lock that in my brain. And this one's going to be out here. Out here even. And we do want to do broken lines when we actually do this. That's a bit large. That's very large. That was so large, in fact, that it messed up the length of it. Because our original one was right here, so yeah. Excessive. Don't do it that large. Or if you're going to do it that large, do it over here. So we'll do one right here, sticking out kind of like this. So we'll have this right here, which means we're going to do one over here. Better, much better. Let's do one up here, facing like this. Very small degree. Good. Now these are more rounded at the top. I'm making these very spherical, so we'll fix that going forward. Yeah, this one is making me very angry. Let's do another one right next to this. The ones right next to each other will be a bit of a testament to my ability. So we have one right here doing this. We're going to do one right here. And it's going to be pointing. So this, it's going to kind of get bigger. Just like this. This is hard to imagine. So that one ended there, I'm gonna, right here. So, doing so, very much more cylindrical. Since these minor axes will always line up, right? And these are technically always perpendicular to our contour lines, if they're done correctly. And this failed that. Because this one's going like this, this one's going like this. So this one kind of, but like this, probably do it in red. I was thinking about doing that. I already did it a bit, but you know, this would have been better. And further out probably would have been better too. So like this one, we'll have one right here. See, okay, I guess that one should have been technically right here, right? I want to have one really up here. Have one over here. Remember, as they get further away, they get smaller. We're getting it. We're getting it. We're speeding up. Move. That one should have been probably out here. Been kind of avoiding doing the ones near the center. So yeah, this one's upsetting me. Let's correct it. If we're having one right here. In fact, it may just go like this. So the closer it gets to the inside, the higher the degree will be, and the shorter these will be. So degree increases as inside. Plus, I don't know. I've been coding all day. This is kind of the language my brain operates in like that. So yeah, this one just doesn't seem like, looking back at it, this should have been much more like this. And, if any. I don't know why my brain likes to place these so high, so much higher than they should be. Switch over here. Fresh start. I feel like I'm gonna kind of copy what's going on this one. This one should have been smaller technically. There's really just a ton of them over there. See, that doesn't seem right. Well, let's see. If we had... This is on the surface, and it's going to come towards us. When it's going to come towards us... No. Okay. Is that true here? Somewhat. Does that mean these are proportionally bigger? So it'd be like this. Let's try it right here. There's one right next to it. These are tapered, so it does make my job a tiny bit more difficult. All I know is this is wrong. I don't like it. I'm gonna start giving them these curved tops to them. So like for this one, we'll do it like right here. Kind of just reminds me of Shrek at all times. That was pretty good. So this thing can have a shadow like this, but we're acting like the shadows are going to the side. Technically it would have no shadow at all, but the fact that its degree is flat instead of like straight on means it is a bit more like this. Then as we get over here, that degree is going to keep decreasing. Still not happy. Last one, and then we have to do the texture. I don't care that there's 9 minutes left, we'll do the actual thing. We'll fail a bit if we need to. Let us copy this over. Go. Let's do this. Last one. I'm actually cutting it off here. And we'll worry about it as we go along. Very, very difficult indeed. So here's our horizon. We'll do one kind of going off over here. Still going to maintain most of its degree. There we go. Do one coming off of here, very small degree. Bit close, that's okay. Not okay, actually. This is on the back side of this. Which one's worked? This one worked somewhat. I guess I just kind of have to imagine this going through the entire thing. Just rings, bands of these. And then placing them on those bands. If I wanted like a really constructed approach of this. So this one would be like that. This one would be like right here. So this one would be like this. I think I'll do it like that. Okay. So imagining these bands. So if we had one right here in the texture. Oh, you can't even see this. Oh, yep. Oh, you can't see my mouse. Okay, there you can see my mouse now. We have this right here. So that'd be probably about right here. So we have a band. Very, very light band. Which means we'd place it right here. Which means this one would be up and to the right a tiny bit. We're gonna do a broken line. Right there. See the next one? Right next to it. So we have our band. This one's gonna be more circular. Preferably the same size, but beggars can't be choosers. Okay. That kind of upsets me, but whatever. We have another band right here. Still very unhappy. We have a band. This is coming out of it. See, these edge ones I'm okay at. Band. One coming out of it. This one's pretty much right here. It should have been more out. Yeah, because we have our center, and then we have the part that comes out of it. Band. This would go up here. Okay, I kind of like how I did that one. So as this one moves down, have our band. This is right there. So we have like our central circle right here. So we have this going on. And from there, this one's gonna poke right at us. Bit of controlled chaos, but I see what's happening. We can use this as a bit of a reference going forward. Very, very strange. This is basically, this Kiwano fruit is basically just this exercise. Just very, very spread out. This one probably should have been closer. Okay, so we'll have something like this going on. Oh, jeez, this is difficult. So yeah, these will all somewhat maintain that degree. Yeah, so, ooh, here we go. So if we're gonna have a contour, it would look a lot like this, right? It'd be just on the outside of that line that bike's actually. Let's figure out how this form is happening. I wish I'd. This is dangerous. This is a dangerous play. I'm willing to do it. Oh! I just dropped it. Nice. Okay, hopefully I didn't dent anything. Oh, geez. Okay. Definitely shook up my desk. Sorry about that. We're gonna do a bit of this. I'm scared about ink bleeding, so I will be using a very light pencil. Let's pull out a pencil here. Do I have a pencil? Oh, goodness. Ah, here we go. So, I just want to analyze what's happening here. If Uncomfy saw this, I'm not sure what his reaction would be. I am tryharding a bit, but... do kind of have this happening, right? Let's just go out quite a bit. So we do have this going on, right? Like a banana. I don't know. And so Not totally vibing with that yet. When I was in Europe, a lot of the people met. So they didn't like the American word vibe. It's overused. I don't necessarily disagree. And again, I say it all the time, so. Wow, it really looks like I'm just drawing on the page. This is some really good tracing paper. Once again, why I love pencil so much is because you can make a lot of guessing lines and still survive. Searching lines, are they called? I can't remember. These are a bit strange up there. So now that we have this, we can start projecting them a bit. And what I'm, nah, not worth it. Can move up a bit, right? I figured out one. All of these are supposed to have the same height to them, and I didn't do that. So one more time. We're experimenting, we're learning. I'm a bit scared to flip it over. I don't want the lead to smear, so we'll just do this. So we're going to continue with these. Some may say this is like slanderous to use pencil and tracing paper. I don't care though, because I'm learning. That's kind of the whole point. So we have this line. The major axis of all of these will practically remain the same. Only thing that is changing is this minor axis. Now we're going to do some... We want them to be skinny, right? So this one's going to be right here. It's going to move more and more up. even going to be like that. It's going to be completely flat. I know we're going over time today by quite a lot, but I don't care. We're getting stuff done, right? Not sure if I completely have the room on this one to, So glad I got a whip out this, tracing paper, because tracing paper is ultimately a very useful tool. Can be misused, of course, but... So yeah, that is very close to what we want. Don't really... We could go over this here. Do I have scissors? I don't think I keep scissors in here. Oh, this is gonna hurt. That works, I guess. I'm gonna use my pen that I don't like so much just in case the lead messes with the ink. I know my friend's gonna watch this and be like, what in the world were you doing this whole time? So. So yeah, this one I could have decreased the, whatever it's called a bit more, but it's okay. It's weird to think I didn't trace anything that I didn't draw already. You know, I'm just kind of giving a deeper analysis. So yeah, this is going to have to shrink more and more. It may be sloppy. If it isn't good, I don't know. So yeah, this is kind of what we're going for here. Should we do shadows? I think we could do shadows with pencil again. So, wish I had some tape to tape this down to. I'm really sucking on the materials today. We'll fix it next stream, right? So, see a bit of that, bit of that, bit of that. May even be projected onto the next one a tiny bit, right? It's gonna be a very weird looking projection because it's gonna like go up. It's gonna end up looking like this almost, shrinking very fast. And do like this. We could try that right here. So it's gonna go right here and then start shrinking really fast. This one should have been more like that. Wow, we're getting the hang of this. Slowly but surely, huh? So there's gonna be a bit of a shadow there. That may go like that actually, instead of there. If the shadow is coming where the viewers, then yeah, do that. Yeah, then the actual thing. I mean, meh. Should we call it that for tonight? I really wanted to get to the textures, but I say we call it there, and actually we start doing this for our warm-up. I think that's quite fair. If we start managing this, because if we could do this with tracing paper, we can, in some degree, do it normally. So yeah, I think we do that. Call it for today. Finish that texture tomorrow. I do. Here's my moral conundrum, right? Oh, goodness. Kicking my table out of rage. No. There is no time limit, but also I've taken extremely long so far to do this. But I'm also learning a lot. I'm really pushing my mind to understand these 3D forms. That's where my heart is right now. So I don't think I should give myself as much trash as I'm doing. I have infinite time to learn. And I'm here every day. You know, we're here every day to do an hour of this. So it does suck that I'm not being able to produce as much, but I'm learning. So I think as long as I accept that, look how much I did today. You know, I did a lot. Not a lot of textures, but a lot of growth. So I need to measure my output. I need to measure my value as an artist less by my output as an assignment wise and more personally, because I think this is perfectly acceptable for today. So not to stress out too much. Look at this. This is a very good rendition of what it should look like. In fact, I'm gonna do here just to finish this up a bit. So we do have the outside form. And that'll kind of inform. So yeah, what's going on there? So yeah, oh wow, that was really off. But yeah, so not perfect. Not bad at all, though. So, and in fact, nah, okay. Yep, so I'm gonna call that for it for today. We'll pick up tomorrow, and we'll work on this. We'll finish this texture tomorrow, I'm pretty confident. Not give ourselves too much trash for, you know, not being all there. I hate to... we'll keep it just in case, right? Don't want to waste. In fact, we'll have to fold it up because my binder can't handle that much. So, an overview of what we did today, our Delano review session. We approached the Kiwano Melon. Had a pretty goofy start on our boxes. Looking at the Kiwano Melon, we were initially right in our ellipses thing, and we practiced a tiny bit more. We realized that the, up here, the top ellipse, slightly smaller degree than the bottom ellipse. What else did we realize? We tried to work with the shadows right there. Going over here, we started estimating everything in bands, which ultimately led us to this concept, which is a great thing to reference going forward and an idea. But yeah, just applying that to the actual form, that's going to be a bit difficult. But hey, we could do 100 of these and then approach this texture, and I'll be okay with that. You know, I'll feel a bit guilty for not going through the Drawbox lessons, but so long as I'm learning, that's all that matters. So, that being said, I actually have to leave these pages out so I can make the thumbnails. I was about to put it up, right? But with that being said, thank you guys so much for joining me today. Unfortunately, we did not do the texture like we wanted, but not every day is perfect. And today was actually pretty perfect because we did what we wanted to. We learned. We practiced art. So, that being said, thank you very much. No end screen as per usual. We'll get that fixed this weekend. I remember next stream will be at 8 p.m. CST and most streams after that. I hate to move it back into the night for those who don't like it, but that seems, unless there's major backlash, we're going to keep it at 8 p.m. CST. So, thank you very much for joining, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.